Good morning, everyone. Troy Mueller, Operations Sections Trainee with Northwest Team 6, bringing you your morning update for October 10th, 2020. So we'll start down today on the south end of the fire, down in Division Whiskey Zulu. So Whiskey Zulu on the ground is going to be unstaffed. However, we're going to be monitoring this by air throughout the day. We have air attack up over the fire as our eyes in the sky all day long, and they continually look at this area of the fire down in Rocky Mountain National Park throughout the day. If we see increased fire activity, we are in the position to be able to restaff this as we need to, but based on fire needs right now, we've taken the resources from here and shuffled them to other areas of the fire for coverage that we need. Moving over to the northwest into Division Alpha. Division Alpha is working still along this long draw road. They're continuing to mop up any hot spots, which is putting out any of the hot spots that they may find from some of their burnouts the other day. They're patrolling and monitoring all of this area, and they're continuing to watch some interior heat along the north side of the Joe Wright Reservoir. Moving to the north into Division Delta. Division Delta is still continuing to work all of their lines in this area. You may not see a lot of black on this line yet. However, we do have crews in here every day. A lot of this line doesn't have any mechanical work done on it, so it was just crews going in and finding those hot spots and putting them out with water and hoses where they can get to. Further into this area, the crews actually have to carry what we call bladder bags, which is a backpack that carries about 3.5 gallons of water, and they carry that on their back, and it has a hand pump, and so they carry those in there and they utilize those as their water supply to be able to put those hot spots out. They're finding less and less heat every day, and they're working further in from the fire perimeter every day. So we're feeling really confident about the containment that they're starting to achieve in Division Delta here. Moving up into Division Foxtrot Lima, they're continuing to work from the Kilpecker line towards the 333 road and out towards the Bel Air line and all along this north flank of the fire. A lot of this edge does have mechanical work done on it. They're continuing to go back in there and find any hot spots, seek and destroy any of those hot spots that they need to, patrol and monitor, make sure nothing else is showing up in that area. Dropping over into Division Romeo, this line is looking really good. We're feeling really confident about the containment in this line. This little part right here is still showing as red. That's from a burnout that they did several days ago to kind of close off an interior island. They're still working that. They're not finding as much heat in there. They're just not quite ready to show that as contained in that area. Dropping down into Division Tango. Division Tango is still fully contained along that eastern edge where the fire ran into the old High Park fire scar. They are starting to look at this Buckhorn Road too. They're looking out further to the east, identifying any values at risk and doing any structure prep and improvement that they may need to do along the Buckhorn Road. Moving down into Division Uniform. Division Uniform was where all of our fire activity was at. As you heard yesterday morning from the update, and if you watched last night's Facebook Live, the fire pushed out on the west side of Comanche Reservoir and started to make a run to the east along the south side of Hourglass. We had crews in there all day long. They did some firing operations. They backfired along the west side of the CSU campus, and they were doing structure protection up around the Lutheran Church camp and the structures out along Hourglass. We did have aerial resources helping us out all day long on this south end. We put in several drops from the large air tankers and also had helicopters that were using retardant from the mobile retardant base on the north end of the fire and putting retardant lines around individual structures that were along the outside edge here in Pingree Park and in the CSU campus. This fire is still burning in a lot of the really dense lodgepole beetle kill. It's very steep terrain. The firing operations that they did yesterday were successful in backing the fire away from the CSU campus, and we're trying to herd that fire around any of those values at risk if it still wants to try to push east. One of our major concerns is the wind event that's coming up starting overnight tonight and lasting through the next several days. The weather forecast for on the fire is calling for gusts over 70 miles an hour on the ridge tops and over 50 miles an hour in the valley bottoms. And they're coming from the direction that will line this part of the fire up to try to push to the east. And so we're looking at where we can do structure protection and protect those values at risk if that fire tries to push with that wind event. We also have 2 structure groups that are working. Structure group 14 is still working everything along this 14 corridor, watching these interior islands, the area around Sleeping Elephant where we did those burnout operations, and continuing to do any mopping up around any structures that may show heat that's new along the 14 corridor. And then we also have structure group Pingree, which is a structure group that is working down here in Pingree Park, working with Division Uniform and Division Tango in this area to protect the values at risk down in the Pingree Park area. That concludes our morning briefing for October 10th, 2020. Thank you.